Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be putting together the Little Angel's piano room. I hope you've watched the unboxing video, if not there'll be a link below. So this is how the sides of the wall are going to be attached to the floor. It's always better to do it dry first and try it out before you start fixing them together. I also decided obviously it's easier to cut out the wallpaper and the flooring and stick them down first before gluing the pieces together. The pink wallpaper that has the square in it is for the window, and I cut that out with a knife. And then here I'm using the silicone spatula that I made in a previous video, so please check that out and I'll leave a link below. This spatula is great, you don't get any glue messed up in your bristles on a brush, and if you forget to wipe it, the glue just peels off or washes off. Now the glue that came in the kit I'm using here to glue the flooring down and the wallpaper, and it's actually very good glue. I was quite surprised. I must say that I would recommend this kit to anybody if you want an easy dollhouse room to put together. Wipe any excess glue away, and then we're going to stick these together. The glue I'm actually using for this is high-tack glue. Stick them down, hold them together till they just catch, and then place things behind them to keep them vertical until the glue's dried. Again, I'm using the glue that came in this kit to attach the window. You could easily put some perspex over this window, or even a net curtain, or you could even make curtains to actually sit across the window. Here we had the window frame. And these pieces are to make the shelving unit for the wall. The fancy pieces go onto the sides of the shelf. And then put the top shelf in and the bottom one, so that you can then easily space the other two shelves. And then the longer piece goes across the top to finish it off. Now I found it much easier to lay the house down on its back to attach the shelf and then leave it to dry. This is the piano. You attach the sides to it first, like this. Using the spatula again to make sure that the glue is spread out. And I glued the tiny little foot pedals into the holes. It was a little tricky because the holes are much bigger. But once I got them all in, I just left it to dry and it dried fine. Then it's just a case of going off the diagram and putting all the pieces together in the right order. And as I say, if it helps, turn the piano and put it on its back while you glue it. Now there's two little holes on each side of the piano that this piece fits into, and I probably should have put the one side on last, but it wasn't dry yet, so I could easily just pull it apart, slip it in, and then put that onto the piano, and that is the lid that covers the keys. Obviously cut out the piano keys and bend them over the edge and then glue that into place. And then we're going to make a little stand that will hold the sheet music. and I set that to one side to dry a bit before I actually glued that on. And then here I'm just adding some glue for the lid of the piano. Put some pressure on and there it is. This is the piano stool next. Once again, I tried this dry first to make sure that it all fits properly before I actually glued it. Now I'm making the rocking chair, and the little cushion. As I say in the unboxing video, all the cushions come ready stitched, which is really handy. You've just got one hole, and as you see, if you put some tweezers in and grab the other end, you can pull the cushion inside out. Make sure all the corners are pushed out before you actually stuff it with the wadding. And this wadding was actually quite strange because it was very, very slippery. But once you've got enough in, and you feel that's enough for your cushion, just fold the ends over and apply a bit of glue to seal that closed. Now again, the rocking chair was a little fiddly to just get these bars into place. As you can see here, I've changed glue and I'm using the 3-in-1 by Beacon, and it's a craft glue. It's very good. It's quite stringy, but it gives you moving time, but it also dries pretty soon. So once you've got all your pieces into the right place, leave that to dry as well. Now the piece of cotton that came with this, you just thread through the bottom, pull over the top as you can see, and then glue that piece of fabric to the top of the chair at the back. Then pull up the next piece of fabric and glue that over the top of the first one. And there's the rocking chair with the cushion. Next I'm making the set of drawers. So attaching the sides to the back of the drawer first, and then attach the drawer front, put that into place, hold it together until it dries, or at least until it holds slightly. And then just add some glue and place the top of the drawers on there. Now here we get some jewellery ends for bracelets, etc. that you would put over beads. And these are supposed to be the drawer handles, and you have to cut these in half. And unfortunately I couldn't find my pliers anywhere, so I had to try and use these scissors. And I must say, it was just a little fiddly. I used the same glue to just attach these half circles on each drawer. And there we have it. There's bits of strings of glue, but that can be brushed off when it's dried. And this is a tiny wooden storage box that has on the front "Just Married," and this has obviously memories and probably photographs from a wedding. But as I said previously, before you actually put anything together and glue it, just do a dry run and make sure everything fits together and which way round and which is the top, the sides, the bottom, etc. And this just makes things a lot easier. So now this is the little memory box put together. And these are the parts now that are for the lamp. It doesn't light up, but it just glows slightly. I'm actually not sure if it glows in the dark. So we glue these pieces together and then connect the top. And this just pushes into the rubber lampshade. I sanded the base slightly just to make it a bit flatter because it did wobble around a little bit. Now here we have all the pieces for the sofa, and we have the plan, which tells us exactly which piece of wood goes where, and then which piece of material corresponds with that wood. As I've said previously, this has been one of the best houses to put together because everything is already cut out and planned for you. So using a pencil, I wrote all the numbers on all the pieces of wood. And this obviously just helps once you've moved the wood off the paper. Then going off the plan, I just glued the corresponding pieces of material onto the pieces of wood to make the sofa. And all the pieces fitted very well. Just make sure as you glue the pieces on that they all line up and you've not got them twisted in any way. Now all the pieces of padding again are all cut out and labelled, so you take that and you apply this on each of the cushions. And then glue them all down. And to stop these little pieces of felt from moving, I just added a little bit of glue under each one before I glued the material on. The felt for the backs of the sofa go near the top, and this bit's important because when the sofa is put together, the cushions you sit on would move up against that part at the bottom. Just make sure you've got your corners nice and fitted and tight. And now for the arms of the sofa. Fit each piece together like so, so you've got a curved arm. And follow the instructions because each arm has a hangover for where it would fit against the back of the sofa. This was the only problem in this pack, is that one piece of material had been cut out back to front, and so it wouldn't fit. So to make that one fit, I had to cut off the small piece for the arm. I glued that on first, then taking the piece the right way round, I then glued that on. So it wasn't too much of a problem, luckily. And the overall effect, when the sofa's put together, you can't even tell. Now taking the base of the sofa, I added the seat cushions. As I say, this glue is really good. It gives you a chance to manoeuvre the pieces, but gets quite tacky and stuck fairly quick, and is very strong after. I aligned all the pieces so they were all going the same way. And then this is where I figured out which arm went on which side. Then once gluing, I held those into place until they're set. And these are the pieces for the back of the sofa, so they only need to be glued halfway up so they can attach to the arms. Again, as I've said before, if you can just make all the pieces with the patterns going the same way, then it just gives a better finish when the sofa is complete. Then we just attach the seating to the sofa. And then the very back to cover up all those spaces where there is no material. And that just finishes it off nicely. And there's the sofa. Taking a piece of lace that's in the kit, I cut it to size. And then I glued the piece of lace over the back of the sofa. This piece is supposed to go there, but I decided not to actually put that piece in. So I glued this onto the back and neatened up the edges. Now, taking the cushions that were for the sofa, I did the same as the one previously and stuffed them with the wadding, took a little bit of glue and closed all the openings. Of course you could hand sew this, but I just wanted to make it easy for those that do not like hand sewing. The glue works just as well for this. And there it is with all the cushions on. And now for the coffee table. Here are all our pieces. Once again, I take it and try it all dry first to see which piece glues where. Once I decide where each piece goes, I then can obviously glue it together. Attach the tabletop, and there's your little coffee table made. Now this is the cake stand that has a slot and you just push it together. It fits quite tightly, all of it, but I decided to glue all the pieces on just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Push carefully because it can easily split. It's only quite soft wood. And there's the little cake stand. And these are all the pieces that came as canes. Slices of orange, etc. Just take a very sharp knife and obviously be very careful. Ask somebody to do it if you're not sure, because you don't want to have an accident. And cut all the pieces into tiny cakes and then glue them on like so. This turned out really nice. Now these are all the paper cutouts. For example, this one is for the cake. I suggest you take a ruler and your sharp pair of scissors or a sharp pointy tool and just score along each line where each fold is supposed to be. This helps you fold it easier and you get a better looking box. And there's the little cake box. So the leftover bits I had of the cakes from the canes, I cut and put into this box. The pieces that wouldn't fit on the cake stand. Do the same with all the books. Score all the folds and then concertina the book, just like so. And glue the spine of the book. And then I held this into place with a tiny bulldog clip until that dries. There's several books in this kit and I did exactly the same with them all. As you can see, it's just concertina fold all the way to the cover of the book, then add some glue to the spine and the back page, and then push them together. The blue and the red box are actually books, so they make a whole row of books. Once again, score all these lines and then fold and glue the box. So now we've got all our pieces cut out and ready to go on the shelves. This is a block of wood that glue on this blue paper that came with it. It's quite shiny paper. And wrap it as you would any other parcel. Glue the first piece, then fold over all the sides and then glue the end. As you can see in the picture, if you push down the side and then fold each side over, and if you've got any white bits sticking out, you can either fold them over or just cut those off. Then I glued the ends down as well. Then add in the piece of gold thread, bring that from the bottom, fetch it up, cross it over and wrap it again around the parcel. And then I tied a knot and then put a little bow in it. And then we have it, a nice tidy parcel. So we glue this piece of lace on top of the piano and down the back. Then just cut any pieces of lace that are hanging over the edge. I glued the vase on top of the piano and put the flowers in, but then realised the flowers were a little bit too long. So all you needed to do is just fold over the end of the flowers. Place your Eiffel Tower ornament on there. And then the music book. And then we just place the open music book. And there's your piano. With piano stool. It does work, honest. And there you go. The lid does open and close. I've taken a piece of wire here, and each diamond piece I've cut out and then folded in half. And then I'm just placing them over the wire and gluing them down. Once these are all glued down, then that's your bunting finished. And now this is where we can just start to put the house together. Taking some tape or glue, glue the bunting down and just push your wire into place until it sits right. We start adding the books to the bookshelf and all the other individual books that we've made. And obviously you can place these anywhere you would like. There's our set of drawers. That goes in first, and the lamp. Picture of London's Big Ben. And the marriage memory box. In goes the piano with the piano stool. And a sofa. And then this is, I don't know if this is supposed to be a mat, because you don't usually have laminate flooring as a mat or a rug, but there it is. And there's our coffee table with our cake stand full of little slices of cake. Only one cup, unfortunately. And postcards from travels. Cake box goes under the coffee table, and a large playing card box. There's a little gift box there. Just add our working rocking chair and our little gift. And then I just placed some of the pictures on the wall. We have obviously the Eiffel Tower, butterflies, and there it is. Our completed room. I hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful. I hope you make your own and it's encouraged you to do so. If you do, please let me know below. And if you've got anything else you would like me to make, leave it in the comments. Like, subscribe and share. That would be great. Now stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to turn this room into a Valentine's room. So thanks again for watching and hope to see you soon on my next video. Bye!